Hello and welcome to this unboxing video of Battlefront's Flames of War U.S. Army's M3 37mm gun. Now, considering that Flames of War is in its 4th edition rules, and of course they're selling 4th edition packaging for their miniatures, this is an older, this is more like along the lines of 3rd edition packaging, which that's fine. Miniatures are miniatures. I got this online. So on here you get two models with command anti-tank platoon. If you look at the code, if you're familiar with the code, it'll say ML, which means mid-war to late war. On the back, it will give you a quick key as far as the nations that were involved and then what period that they were in and the usual legal stuff that they have. So let's open it up and take a closer look. Now keep in mind, because this is not 4th edition, you're not getting the unit cards to go with it. Okay? There we go. So, on the backs of their blister packs, which I think that's Battlefront is going away from that, you would have like these pictures of different medals or decorations. So, Hero of Socialist Labor Medal. There you go. A little bit of history. So, let's take a look at what we've got. Okay. We have got stands, okay? Now, today Battlefront sells the stands with the little holes pre-drilled in it so that you could go and position your crew, your soldiers, whatever you have on there. Okay, so you get two and you get the leader. Now, keep in mind, for 4th edition, for an anti-tank platoon, a mortar platoon, even artillery platoons, machine gun platoons, they took out the command stand. Which, well, that's a bummer. But I'm still going to build a command stand, and I'm using that not as a separate piece to take hits, because you don't do that in 4th edition, but you can put it behind one of your units to indicate that that gun unit is in fact the leader, the commander of the unit. So, okay, fairly quick, fairly easy instructions on this. Little foam backing, and we've got our main gun carriages. That works. All right. And we have got our barrels, a little bit bent there. Now there is an M3A1 version of the AT gun. I don't know what's the difference between the two of them. In game terms, I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think so, unless you're talking about using another kind of shell, but 37mm is 37mm. Now, this thing came out in the 1930s, which at that time was pretty much cutting edge in terms of anti-tank gun warfare, but the reality is that anti-tank guns, even with the shields to protect their crews, okay, they were starting to become obsolete. The 37mm AT gun was obsolete probably by about 43 in terms of being able to take out German panzers because the German panzers simply had heavier armor. And even if they tried to hit from the side or the rear, they weren't going to have any effect. However, these guys also fire high explosive ammunition. Okay, and that certainly could be used, and I believe that the American infantry, they still use the 37mm into 44-45 in Italy because it was a great help in terms of delivering high explosive rounds. Now, the Marines and the Army in the Pacific probably got to see more use of these 37mm anti-tank guns because the Japanese tanks were not, they weren't developing at the fast pace compared to the Germans, the Russians, and the Americans. So lighter tanks like the Stuart or the U.S. Lee, the M3 Lee, okay, which was a medium at its time, but it quickly, could not compete with the German tanks. They still use those in the Pacific. So then we have here a number of figures, crew figures, a little bit of flashing. Oh, that's to be expected. That's not a big deal. Ooh, hey, I got a BAR guy. Awesome. That is nice. So, and I've got crew, the guys with the binoculars, the guy with the shell. Okay, the commander with his pistol. All right. I'm thinking this will do. This will do nicely. And like I said, this is going to be used for my American forces fighting in Tunisia. I don't know about Italy, though. That's another story. I could still use it for high explosives, for the high explosive aspects of it. Well, okay, that's it for the review here. Hey, it's worth getting if you like the earlier war. Again, this gun can be used, in late war on in an American force. Just don't expect to take out tigers with it. All right, I hope this review benefited you. Goodbye and God bless.